Good morning, San Diego Unified colleagues. It's Fabiola Bagula, your superintendent. I hope you had a joyful and restful summer. Some of you may know that in June I was appointed as your permanent superintendent, and it is with deep honor to serve the school district where I began my teaching journey. This work is personal to me. The beginning of the school year has always been a beautiful time for me in all of my roles. From student with the anticipation of returning to see all of my friends, as a mom taking those first day of school pictures, fond memories of my kindergarten son with those signs that say, first day of kindergarten, one day I will be, and he said Toad during his Super Mario phase. I'm about to drop him off at his dorm in a few weeks as he begins his own college journey. As a teacher, with all of the preparation for a classroom, as a principal, and every other role I've held, what other profession and calling gives us a new start and a new group dynamic? I'm still grateful for that. I still get the butterflies. I still refer to the school year as the new year and have to always adjust when other people refer to it in January. The weekend before I was to begin kindergarten, my mom didn't have enough time to take me shopping, but my grandmother was going to go to our favorite thrift store. I remember getting a $5 bill. It was probably the most money I have ever had before, and walked with my grandmother to the Purple Heart thrift store where we sang Juan Gabriel songs along the way. I often went shopping with her. She would resell some of the finds at the swap meet, and she taught me to look for the tags that said Paris on it. Once we arrived, she started looking through bins and told me to go find my shoes. It was the first time I was shopping for myself, and then I saw them. The most beautiful shiny shoes with a huge bow, and they fit perfectly. They sounded like magic. I was elated. I heard my name being bellowed across the store, so I ran back to find my abue. She was in line to pay, and I put my shoes down and she nodded in approval. When I got home, my mom asked me to show her the shoes. I was so excited that I put them on to show her, and her whole expression changed. She said some not so nice things about my grandmother and told me I purchased tap shoes. She said she didn't have any more money to spend, so I'd have to wear them to school, but I would probably get in trouble. I worried that whole night, and in the morning when I put the shoes on, they were no longer beautiful. They no longer sounded like magic to me, but more like a tin can. My mom walked me to school and said, I hope they have a carpeted classroom. They did not. When I walked in, I'll never forget the smile on Miss Albañez. She heard me coming. She looked at me fully, smiled, leaned down and said, I'm a tap dancer too. My mom apologized to her and she said it was all right, that kindergartners are loud. The next day she brought me a pair of her daughter's hand-me-downs. Now, I tell you the story not because I expect you to go above and beyond like this, but because I know you do. And also because it could have gone so many ways. But the kindness that that teacher expressed in that moment, in that very quick exchange, I'll never forget. How we respond, how we welcome, and how we frame a problem, all of it matters, and it can impact others in a large way. I have so many stories like this where my teachers showed me grace, love, understanding in a way that changed my entire life. I have always loved education and educators for this reason. It was them. It was you that inspired for me to become an educator. And when I say educator, I mean everyone that contributes to our schooling system. My elementary school in San Isidro, Sunset Lane, the custodian, Mr. Martinez, taught me how to tie my shoes. All of you matter. All of us contribute. I still continue to have deep relationships with my teachers, and it's been a joy to receive some congratulations because of this new position. I've been wanting to speak to one of my favorite teachers. She was my 10th grade English teacher and my 12th grade English Lit AP. And I just got a congratulatory card, and I remember her telling me that I could be a leader and that I could be a writer. And now I understand that to be called educator projected self-actualization. That's the nerd in me. It means that all of us can see this potential and this gift in our young people, and that's the beautiful power and responsibility we have, that we can name it for them, help them dream, and help them achieve. This is the belief I have about public education and the belief I hold for all of us. We all need each other. I want to also thank you for all of your hard work and dedication. As our academic measures come in, there's lots to celebrate, also lots to do, but I like to linger on the celebration. Our district will continue to work on our goals and guardrails of wellness, literacy, mathematics, graduation, communication, and motivation. But everything we do comes back to one question. Are students learning and thriving? Our students are not empty vessels, they're brilliant and complex and full of gifts, and our job is not to merely teach them, but to create spaces where they can thrive, discover themselves, and prepare to shape a future we can't even imagine yet. We're focusing on raising literacy and math achievement, boosting graduation rates, and caring for students' wellness. We're committed to tracking our progress, being honest about where we stand, and doing whatever it takes so that every student has a chance to succeed. We will continue to build coherence and alignment in our work with clarity and conscious accountability. My hope is that we continue to use our strong data systems to inform our practice and to get smarter together. Our community deserves to know exactly how our work connects to results for students. I'm mindful when we speak about student data because I've seen it turn toxic, and I want to remind us that data without heart accomplishes nothing, and heart without data loses its way. I remember when I first had to learn how to give a running record and the anxiety I felt. I know the amount of practice I needed, and then 3 years later, I was able to do it no problem. My hope is that we give each other this grace in our learning. The data we collect should inform our practice, not cause us stress. Please know that when I began my tenure as deputy, we had over 100 data platforms, many with under 10% usage rate, and a large amount of variety in the assessments we had across our system. Throughout my years, we've been aligning our data systems and our assessments in order to build cohesion across our entire district and live up to being unified. We need to look at data honestly, ask whose needs are being met and whose are not, and then act. Every policy, budget decision, and conversation should ask, does this help all of our students belong, thrive, succeed? So we're committed to those clear goals, transparent data, and honest conversation about what's working and what needs to improve. Whether it's new tools to help students track college and career progress, smarter ways to boost attendance, or thoughtful hybrid work policies for staff, we're working on ensuring our systems are clear, fair, and student-focused. Our schools are not isolated buildings. They are community hubs where families, educators, and neighbors come together. We must listen deeply to our communities, to each other, honor cultural wealth, and co-create solutions. This is how we grow stronger. Our ongoing budget deficit will continue to bring complexity in our work, but we have the fiscal responsibility as stewardship for students' futures. Every dollar in our budget belongs to the public and ultimately to our students. We are working to close our budget gap while protecting what matters most, student learning and staff support. This means finding efficiencies, strengthening our grants and philanthropic strategies, and ensuring our resources are reflecting our values. Fiscal responsibility isn't just balancing numbers, it's an investment in the promise of every child. But I also want to address our national divide. I stand before you with political complexity, and I think each and every one of you would also be able to say the same. But what I do know is I used to be able to discuss and even debate policies with friends that had different ideology without becoming an argument that sparred insults or threats. The national rhetoric should concern all of us. As a district, we began with San Diego Unified for Democracy so that our future voters sitting in our classrooms would have tools to learn about how democracy and voting works. We then created Protecting Our Students with the understanding that many of our district values would be under scrutiny. And now we're about to launch the next phase of this, Community Care, a way for us to continue to educate and inform our students about democratic practices and ideology, not political rhetoric or advocacy, just the facts, and also the understanding of the responsibility we have for one another. Our students have consumed media this summer and will return with curiosity, with questions, and some with fear. We will be and have been creating supports in order to have these conversations. Our district isn't just preparing students for tests, we're preparing them to participate fully in a democracy. That means helping students think critically, engage respectfully, and use their voices to shape a just world. It also means standing up for each other, caring about each other, and creating a place for belonging. This is everyone's responsibility. This work is too big for any one person. Educator efficacy and collective wisdom and responsibility are the tenets for a healthy organizational culture. We must hold each other with the high expectations we all deserve and also care deeply for one another. Because how we lead, and all of us are leaders, with courage, compassion, and collectively, shape the experience of every student we serve. Leadership is not a single person's job. Our greatest strength is our collective. We are working in an interdependent system where we support one another, share what works, and lift each other up. I believe deeply that how we be matters as much as what we do. The way we treat each other becomes the culture our students experience. So let me end with this. My focus as superintendent is rooted in our shared purpose because none of us leads alone. Together, we're preparing students not just to participate in our democracy, but to shape it and to thrive in it. Together, we're committed to transparency and conscious accountability because our communities deserve to see themselves in the work that we do. Together, we're responsible stewards of public resources. Every dollar, every minute, and every decision must serve our students' futures. Together, we keep student learning and well-being at the heart of everything we do, because nothing else makes sense without that. And we know this: to truly care for students, we must first care for one another. Principals must care for their teachers and staff, area superintendents must care for their principals, and I must care for all of you. This is how we build our cascade of care, one that flows outward, reaching every classroom and every student. And above all, we lead together with courage and with compassion because that's what our students deserve. I love you all. Los quiero mucho, and I hope to meet all of you this year, and I thank you for your commitment and dedication to San Diego Unified. Here's to a great new school year. Thank you.